Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if this is your first time seeing my videos. This is going to be a really fun video. This is going to be my 26 favorite fictional characters. This is in honor of my birthday that's coming up soon and the fact that I'm turning 26. So I thought this would be a fun way to celebrate. So these are going to be 26 characters in no particular order. I'm just going to talk about them as I talk about them. And I'm going to try to give some reasonings of why they're in my top fictional characters. A lot of them are ones that have just they're from my childhood. There's some that are have just really resonated me personally, with my own identity or story. There have been some that have just lived rent free in my mind since I read them. So I'm gonna try my best to explain why I have the character on this list. I also am gonna using fan art that I found on Instagram, but I have assured that these are not AI and that the artist is comfortable with people reposting them. First one's gonna be Nazira from the Shatter Me series. I know that it's probably gonna be crazy that I'm not putting Juliet on this list, but it's just because Juliet is such an obvious answer, but Nazira, oh, I love her, and I love how she challenged the men that were trying to tell her to do in the series. I know there's that one part where they're trying to tell her what's legal and not legal to wear. And she's like, you know what I think about men trying to tell me to wear? And she flips them off. That is such iconic behavior. And you're gonna notice a theme that all the women on this list are women that I just think are so badass and so doesn't let anyone tell them what to do, and or they're challenging the things in their lives. I honestly immediately love those kinds of women. And Nazira in the Shatter Me series, she's just so good, and I feel like she's almost a better protagonist than Juliet, because sometimes Juliet can be a bit of a pushover, but Nazira is constantly on it about being F you, F this whole system, F anyone that wants to tell me what to do. So good. Honestly, if she ever wanted to write a book with Nazira being the main female character, I would eat that up. So she's the first one I'm going to talk about. And then obviously we'll go ahead and talk about Aaron Warner, because same series. I love him. I've tried really hard to think about why he's my favorite book boyfriend. And I think that it just comes down to the fact that he is born into such horrible circumstances. He has every reason to be the villain, and yet he's really not the villain. He's so misunderstood. And I just feel once you actually get to know him, you're just oh my goodness, this boy needs a hug. And I just really love how, even though he had all these chances to be just like his father, he actually rises above and continues to be a good person in the way that he can. And especially when we see him fall in love in the book, I just love how loudly he loves, and how once he realizes that he's in love, he's not quiet about it. He's I love you, and the way he communicates that, and he just is so protective. And I feel even though it was a dystopian book, I just feel their love was so pure. And I just think that I really admire the way that he has taken the trauma that he has and not let it define him. And then I'm gonna shift back to another strong female badass character, Ren from the Poppy War. Honestly, I think she might be my favorite book character ever. If I had to number these, I think she might be 1 or 2. She is so good. One of my favorite moments from Ren, which is a little bit of a spoiler, is that she gets her period one time, and she's I don't ever want to go through this again, and she literally gets her ovaries cut out right after that first period. I think we all wish, all people that get their period, I think we all wish that we could just literally do that, because periods are awful. But that's just one example of Ren's personality. And she's another one of she had to overcome circumstances, and I just really admire how much she sacrificed for the greater good. Even though she lost so many people, she literally just kept fighting and trying to make things right and end this war so that at least people that she loved could have a happy ending. And then I am going to shift gears again to another male that I really like, which is actually Kai from the Powerless trilogy. He is, y'all, I'm gonna be real honest, it's the banter. He's just hot. He has lived rent-free in my mind since I read the Palace trilogy. I can't even give you like a deep depth reason of why I like him so much. It's just like he's just in my mind. Like the bantering, the things that he says, the way that he romances Peyton. I just literally, like, I think Kai is my fantasy. Like, I love him. He's so good. He's so hot. And I think one of my favorite things about him is that even when Peyton is like, "Oh, I hate you," and he's like, "No, you don't. You love me." He's so like snarky and like a bit of an asshole, and I don't know why I find that so attractive, but I do. So that's why he's on this list. That's it. Okay, so the next one is Nazir from the We Hunt the Flame duology. Honestly, it just comes down to how I just love the way this man speaks. He speaks so poetically, and some of the things that he says, especially in the second book, are quite literally my favorite romance lines ever. Like, the things that they have said to each other in that book, especially in his part, live rent-free in my mind. Like, if you were to ask me to pick one of my favorite romances, it would be them. I love Nazir. He has like the whole, and he's just like, I can't even put into words, but it's just like the way that he takes these strong feelings that he has and is able to say them in such a beautiful way that I literally have an entire thread of just screenshots of my favorite things that man has ever said. Like, I'm obsessed with the things that he says. So that's why he's on this list, is because of that. He's also very good looking, and he's also very good character, but it's the reason why he's on this list specifically for me is the romance, the things that he says. And then I talked about Rin, who also goes by Fang in the Poppy War, but I'm actually going to talk about somebody else that's called Fang, who this is a really big throwback. But the Maximum Ride series, Fang was like the OG boyfriend for me. Like, I remember being like 10, 11, 12, being obsessed with Fang. Like, he was like broody, he had wings, he was grumpy, he was emo, literally like my dream book boyfriend now. And I just remember being like so obsessed with him, and I actually reread this series last year or maybe 2 years ago, and I once again was back into that mindset of little old me. And that's the reason why he's on this list, is because of how much child me loved him, that he has to be on this list. He was a very strong obsession of mine all growing up, and I wish they would like I know they did like a show or something or a movie. I need them to redo it in current time so they can actually be good. Like, it could be a good adaptation. And then the next three that I'm talking about is actually all from the Hunger Games world, but I just have to. I couldn't narrow it down. So the first one is Maisley, who we get to see in Sunrise on the Reaping. But I just love the way that Maisley would not allow the Capitol to take away her, like, hurt, like, who she is, her pride. Like, there is, like, a scene where they, like, offer them food on the train, and she's like, "Where's my silverware? Where's my plate? Like, don't let them treat you like an animal. Like, make them treat you like a human being." And I love that. I love that, and I loved how she always tried to look her best, like, even in, like, you know, the games. And everyone underestimated her, thought that she was going to be a dumb person, but she was actually so smart and so creative. So I feel like she's on this list for me because of just how much of a menace that she was to the Capitol, and just how much of an underdog she really was. And then I have Haymitch, which I have on this list because he's half Sunrise on the Reaping, half like actual Hunger Games trilogy, but he's so good. I loved it. But I really like Haymitch because in the Hunger Games trilogy, you get to see him like support Peeta and Katniss, and I love like the father relationship that he has with them. But also in Sunrise on the Reaping, when you actually get to know him, I just loved how he was like, "Oh, I just want to sit at home and spend time with my girl." Like, such a basic man thing to want, but I loved it. Like, it made me giddy, and I really feel for him, and I'm really sad with what he goes through, but he's a really good person. And then the last Hunger Games character is Finnick, which has always been my favorite Hunger Games character. Finnick has been my top one this entire time. I love Finnick. And it's just because I just love how outspoken he is. Like, he's not afraid to share his trauma, and he went through so much with the Capitol, and he still found love and still tried to have a happy life, and I'm gonna act like he's happy and alive right now, and I'm not gonna say anything different. I also just think he's very inspiring that he won the games at the youngest. Like, he was like 14. Like, the strength that he has, the dedication that he has is really truly unmatched, and he's just a character that has lived rent-free in my mind pretty much since my childhood, honestly. It's just anytime a new movie comes out or a new book comes out, I'm just reminded how much I love Finnick. I love him. Okay, so the next two are also two that are on this list because of childhood me, and it's Alice from Twilight and Four from the Divergent series. Those were another two people that I was deeply obsessed with growing up. Alice, I just really loved her looks, and Four I just thought was really hot. So childhood May insisted them be on this list. Childhood me was like, no, if you're gonna make a list about your 26 favorite characters, the two smoke shows from our childhood has to be on there. Divergent is a really good series, and I just think that Four is another one of the situations where, like, he had a really bad dad, and Four and Aaron Warner and Kai all just, like, they all align in my head, honestly, of being these people that have, like, really bad childhoods but are able to overcome them and to try to be good people where they can be and not to be the tool of their, like, parents. And I really respect them for that. And then the other one is a book that I read this year, actually. It's Ray from Threats of Sunlight, and she, oh my gosh, I was just so freaking inspired by the way she, you know, she was technically disabled and she didn't let it stop her, which I have another one of those on my list as well, but I'll get to that in a second. But she, like, she didn't have any magic, she didn't have any strength, but yet she had, like, emotional strength. And even when people were like, oh, you can't do anything, you can't save them, just worry about yourself, like, she refused to listen to that. And she literally, like, taught herself how to fight. She wasn't afraid to hit a man, and she, like, even got herself, like, enslaved to save the day, which that sounds crazy, but if you read the book you'll understand what I'm saying. But she's just another one of those really freaking strong characters, and I think she might be my favorite female character that I've read this year. She's so good. And then the last one for this segment is going to be Kyo from Fruits Basket. I remember when I watched Fruits Basket, Kyo, I was immediately attached to him because he's, like, the outsider to his family. Like, he doesn't get invited to anything, they don't take him seriously, they call him a failure, they call him a mistake, like, they just don't treat him well. And I sadly really resonate with that because I feel like the outsider to my family. Kyo is on this list because of emotional attachment to, like, my own upbringing and how he found love in the end, and I also found love, so it's all fine, and we are healing and we're trying to work through our trauma. And Kyo has some more trauma than I do, but I just really was like, look at this character who feels similar to what I feel, and it just made me feel like I wasn't alone in the world when I watched Fruits Basket. But the next one is, I believe her name is pronounced Elsbeth from the One Dark Window duology. She's really on this list just because of the emotional attachment that I had with her. When I read the books, I just saw so much of myself in, like, what happens with her family and how she feels throughout the book, and just how, like, she is constantly trying to fix things. And I just really was like, holy cow, I really, really see myself in that. Callie from How Does It Feel? Girl, this girl, I have her on this list because of the tricks that she has. And I don't mean tricks as in, like, magic or anything like that. I mean, like, this girl was, like, 5 steps ahead of everyone. Like, when you thought you knew what she was doing, you had no idea. Like, she had people believing one thing, and then they found the truth, but it wasn't actually the truth because she had already had something. It was like, oh, you thought you knew, but you don't. And then you thought you knew again, but you don't. And just the way she was able to, like, pretty much make this whole life for herself to get the one thing that she wanted, which was, like, revenge. But also, Homie Girl has 2 men after her, and I respect it. Like, she instantly falls in love with this Faye, and I cannot blame her. If I fell in love with someone that I fell into their arms immediately, that would be a dream. I also just love like how like almost fun she is and how smart she is. I honestly, she reminds me of one of my best friends, and I just couldn't help myself but love her. She was just a really, really fun time. And then the next two are from Zodiac Academy. I picked my favorite female character and I picked my favorite male character. The female character is Tori Vega because, girl, I don't, it's so hard to talk about this character without giving spoilers, but the way that she was like, if I fall in love, I will do anything I need to do to stay with my love. She was like, I will go to the ends of the earth for my man. I loved it. It ripped my heart out and made me chew on it, but she is such a strong character, and she's so feisty, and she is just like, she's so sure of herself and so confident, and I just, man, I love a good strong female character. And then my favorite male character is Lance Orion, and it's solely because he's hot, and the way that he dropped everything that he knew to love the character that he loves. Once again, I don't want to give spoilers because some of the couplings people don't actually know until later in the books. So like, but the way he was like, he was supporting this thing, and then when he fell in love and she was like, oh no, actually it's this way, he was immediately like, whatever you say, honey, whatever, like on his knees, whatever you say, I'm your number one supporter, like you have no wrongs, you only have rights. The way that man was whipped, and he has so many of my favorite romance scenes, and he's so good, he's so hot, and he's a vampire, so honestly, he's like the perfect package. And this next one is a bit of a throwback from my childhood again. It's Violet Bolidar, I think that's how you say their last names, from the series of Unfortunate Events. I remember, like, when I read this series, really, when I was really, really young, I was probably, like, 4, 5, or 6, my mom or sister would read it to me before I went to bed. I remember vividly how much I loved Violet. Violet was my favorite character out of the series, and I just love how smart and inventive she was, and always knew when she was up to something good when she, like, put her hair up with the ribbon, and this is another one that childhood me was like, yeah, you're putting her on the list. I've not read this series of Unfortunate Events in quite some time, but Violet does in fact live in my head rent-free, especially the movie version. I remember the movie quite vividly still after all this time. She's so good. She's such a good character, especially for younger audiences. She's such a good role model. So the next two are like from animes that I watched first, and then I read the manga, some of the manga later on, so I'm including them on this list. But the first one is Honey Senpai from Ouran High School Host Club. I just love him. He's so stinking cute. The way he always wanted to eat cake. He's just like such a cute comfort character. That's it. Like, I don't have really any other reason for having him on this list. I just generally like want to pick him up and give him a huge hug. Like, he's so stinking cute. I love him. And then Inuyasha is the other one, and Inuyasha's on this list because he's so dumb, but yet he's so dumb when it comes to like who he loves, and it's so funny. Like, I know there's like this one scene where like the person that he's loved is like running off, and he like just literally just dives off of a cliff to get her or something like that, and I'm just like, this boy, another example of a boy like being so down bad. Like, he's such an asshole to everyone around him, but then you get the person that he loves and he's like, oh my god, oh my goodness. And I was like, man. And he's such like, and he's a dog. He's literally half dog. But Inuyasha was my first anime, and I just have a lot of emotional attachment for it because it was like my, you know, my welcome into the world of animes, and I just find him so funny, and it feels like such a silly good time. So that's why he's on this list. And then we have Kissen from, I think that's how you say it, Kissen from the God Killer series, and she is also disabled. She doesn't have like, she doesn't have a leg, and yet it literally does not stop her. She screws who she wants. She, you know, hates God, so she's like giving them the little finger and like killing them, and God, she's so good. She's so good, and she kept sacrificing her like self, or like sacrificing, you know, things that she loved just to be able to make the world a better place. And I just loved the bantering. I loved how strong of a character she was. I loved how even in a world where people loved gods, she was like, no, I see them what they really are. Like, F them, I'm gonna kill all of them. Like, she just, you know, she knew what she wanted. We love a woman that knows what she wanted. This is a weird one, but, so from, in the book, Assistant to the Villain, there is a little frog who, like, sits on the king's shoulder, or like sits in the king's office, and he can't speak, so have like note cards that he like writes on and like say stuff on. I love him. I think his name is Kingsley. I love him. He's on this list because he is so stupid freaking cute. And in the fan art that I have of them, I know that like it's like the man, but it's mostly it's the frog. The frog is the main character for me. It's just such a silly, goofy time, and the frog is such a, like, he can be so sassy sometimes, and generally I think he's my favorite part of the books. Honestly, I think that I love the books because of the frog. And then I have Wrath from The Kingdom of the Wicked. He's just hot. There's no better reason he's just hot. He lives rent-free in my mind. The third book has quite a bit of smut in it, and those smut scenes, oh, I love them. Oh, do I love them. And he's just hot. And then I have, this last one is kind of broad, but I love Hades from any book that I've read. So Hades from Persephone series, or Neon Gods, or like Lore Olympus. I love any a version of Hades. I just always have. And the picture that I have is from Lore Olympus, because that is like the most recent version that I have read of Hades, and I just loved him so much. And I just feel like Lore Olympus is a really beautiful comic just in general, but the way that Hades was put into the book, he was like very caring, but he could be angry when I just hurt my hand. He could be very caring when he needed to be, and I just felt like I like seeing that side of Hades, because when I was growing up, so many people said that Hades was the bad guy and Zeus was the best one, and now as an adult, I'm like, no, F Zades, F Zeus. Like, Hades is the real, like, good guy. Like, typically Hades is the one that actually cares about people's well-being, and Zeus is the one who just is up on his little pedestal and can't care, or he's like killing his wives. Like, I feel like Hades is the one that like is actually trying to be good for the like humans and everyone. And I just, anytime I've ever read like a book with Hades in it, I've just been like, yeah, he's great. I think that's all of them. There's two more. I think her name is said Elena. She's from Furryborn. I don't know how to say that. I'm struggling already. She's very beautiful. Another really strong female character. I remember, like, she has just lived rent-free in my mind for the last 2 years. Like, she's just one of those female characters that I just have not forgotten about, so that's why she's on the list. And then the last one is Dev and Charlie, which I know are, like, two separate people, but they are a package deal in my mind, because, like, obviously, you know, you can't have one without the other, but they're on this list because of how they made me feel about my identity. Like, this book really helped me come to terms with being asexual, and they were both, like, and then, like, they both played a part in that, like, because, you know, one character has to do with the anxiety and the OCD, and the other character has, like, the actual, like, asexuality, and I just love them so much because they made me feel so good in my own skin. They're just so cute, honestly. Like, I think they're my favorite, like, MLM, like, romance, and I love them. So this is it. These are my 26 favorite characters. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you guys next Sunday for my, it's my Mooing with Pride TBR. It's coming out next, so I'm really excited to get into that. And I hope you guys have a very fantastic week, and you can let me know if you like any of these characters, or like if I have made you want to read these books to meet these characters. And for emoji, put a frog. That fits in well with my video, because I talked about the Assistant to the Villain frog. But yeah, that's the emoji to comment if you made it this far. Thank you for watching. If you have made it this far, please like and subscribe and comment if you love this. And I really hope that you have liked this video, and I'll talk to you guys next time. Bye bye.